Live from the Export Beer Garden studio, this is the Agenda podcast for Tuesday the 12th of March.
The Agenda, an alternative commentary collective podcast.
Good morning, Lane.
Morning.
We're in the newspaper.
Are we?
We are in the newspaper. We are the first question of the New Zealand Herald's three-question quiz that they do. It's called the Hat Trick.
I've only got the hat trick once. I've been doing it for a month now.
Yeah.
It's the third question is impossible.
The third question is like, I feel like they've written it so that you can't get it.
Yeah, you only get it if you guess.
The first one lulls you into a false sense of security.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is so easy.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the third leg of a triathlon?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. How many a test match did Linda Wagner play for the Silver Ferns?
That's today's one. 61, by the way. If you want to impress your colleagues, go out and get that one. But the first question, the sitter, is us. The easy question, it says, what does the ACC stand for? And then the options are...
There is a picture of us, by the way, as well.
Is, yep.
So
it's an early doors one with the sort of beige suits on with the jandals. What does the ACC stand for? The options are alternative cricket commentary. That we get quite often.
Yeah. I'd say that would be one of the biggest guest ones, especially on the Herald.
In fact, when our dear friend Watto was slagging us off on the platform, he called us the alternative cricket commentary.
Yeah, right.
But we're more than just that. The second one is the alternative commentary collective. The third one is the accurate commentary callers. No one's ever called us that.
Accurate commentary callers. I love it.
No one's ever accused us of that. And the last one's great. The Aroused Commentators Commentating.
You know what? That's probably the most accurate out of all of them.
Yeah, the Aroused Commentators Commentating. I don't mind that. They should have put the Accident Compensation Corporation in there.
Yeah, they should have actually, because people would have guessed that as well.
We've been confused for them quite a lot. They've received a lot of our hate mail.
Yeah, and we've received quite a few bit of feedback around why their claim hasn't been accepted.
Yeah.
Via social media, and we quite happily accept most of them, don't we? We say apologies.
Yes.
Accepted.
This happens quite often when you meet people out in the wild and they go, "Oh, do you work for the ACC?" Yeah. And then one of their friends will inevitably be like, "Oh, I've got an ACC claim that got rejected," thinking that they're going to stump you and make you feel awkward. I'm like, it's approved. I'll approve it.
Yep, done.
It's done.
Yep.
Tell them I said.
Can we move on now?
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah. All right, we get it. It's a different ACC. All right, let's get into the elephant in the room, and it is in this room as well. There is a knife sticking out of the desk behind me from where we commentated the fourth day of the second test against Australia, where we inevitably lost. I think that's a very apt sort of symbol of what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
There was so much hope going into yesterday. So much hope. 202 runs they needed to chase down. They were already 4 wickets down, and the momentum was all ours. I think the rain delay should have been a warning. We were sort of convincing ourselves that was going to work in our favour.
Yeah, I was trying to write the script, but
yeah, so was I. Over number 1 came out. I think it was Ben Sears with the first over of the day. It was great, searing over. And then the second over, Southey came out, got a drop off like the second or third ball of his over. Ravindra dropped one. Very next ball, turned around, got the wicket, and we thought, God, here we go. Then it sort of lulled about for a bit, and we thought, oh, fucking hell, they're going to start wrestling control away. And then Ben Sears, back-to-back wickets, bang, bang.
oh, so good.
And then it just sort of limped into a bit of a fizzle out, didn't it?
It did. And, you know, when that drop catch off Southey, Ravindra at point, and then the very next ball, head goes, because that was Mitchell Marsh.
Yep.
And we thought, yeah, that's better. Yeah, that nullifies that drop catch. No, it didn't.
No.
Because that drop catch was off Mitchell Marsh, who went on to score 80.
Yes.
Travis Head was the one that got out the next ball, because I obviously ran a single after the drop. So in retrospect, looking back at that, and I think even Wells brought it up in the commentary, he goes, would you have rather that be taken, the first catch taken and that one dropped, or... And everyone was like, oh, no, we're just happy with whatever.
Yeah.
But in reality, Ravindra needed to take that catch.
Yeah, and also he looked so sheepish after this. So he drops the catch, the next catch is taken. They run in to celebrate. He's the last man in to celebrate, and he's got a sheepish look on his face like, geez, sorry about the last one, fellas. Hey, but it's all good now because we got this one.
No is the answer there. I don't know. I felt actually a little bit depressed after that, because I actually sat in the studio on my own for a bit. And
you
just
did. I came back in about an hour later. You're sitting in here by yourself.
Crushed a beer. I don't know. I just felt so deflated. It's like not often we get this chance. We won't get this chance again, I reckon, in this position probably for another 10 years.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's a long time. I may well be dead by then. So that's what depressed me. It's like we just didn't take our opportunities, and I'm just gutted for the team. I'm gutted for the fans.
Yeah. I felt like we were a bowler short because Ben Sears was on debut and he was about all we had, really. You know, Henry played well. He was the man of the series from our side of the ledger. But
can I just say, for man of the series, he won $1,000 check, novelty check.
yeah.
I don't know about that. I thought man of the series usually get like a car or a motorbike or...
Well, he was our Tegel man of the series, so he wasn't the overall man of the series.
What?
I think.
No, he was man... I think he was man of the series.
He was man of the whole thing?
Yeah.
I read that as our guy.
He only got $1,000. Nah.
The winner of the Manu Champs got more than that. They got $3,000.
I would have thought Mitchell Marsh potentially should have got man of the series.
Yes.
He won both games for them. Anyway.
He definitely should have. Look, I don't know. I just felt like we were a bowler short. Injuries, obviously, you know, Jamison would have been in there. O'Rourke probably would have been in there,
Yeah.
which probably would have meant that Sears wouldn't have been in there if O'Rourke was in there. But for us to depend on a debutant, I mean, at a certain point, Southey's had to throw the ball to him and just be like, I got nothing. What have you got?
Yeah.
And he had something, Sears, to be fair.
Well, that bang, that 2 wickets in a row. And the third one was edged down to third man.
Yeah.
Like from Pat Cummins from the Cumdog Millionaire. Cumdog Millionaire, man. He just loves those moments, doesn't he?
He loves cricket.
He did it in the Ashes.
He loves
Comes
cricket.
in at 9.
Yeah.
Motherfucker looks comfortable. Strokes a few boundaries.
He looks good.
Oh, his composure. God, I hate it.
I feel like they bat him at 9 more to conserve his energy than because he's not a good batsman.
Yeah.
You know, to give him as much time sitting down as possible.
I'm going to read you a quote from Daryl Mitchell post-match.
Please
Let me know your thoughts. For us, we've always said as Black Caps, we're not defined by the outcomes. We're defined by how we play cricket and hopefully how we inspire our country to play the game. I
would argue you are defined by your outcomes.
Outcomes means crowds. Crowds means vibe. Vibe results in playing. Because my kids are switched off now. They go, how'd the cricket go? I say, we lost. No more questions. No more questions, Your Honour.
I would point to the 2023 One NZ Warriors as proof that outcomes dictate the vibe.
Yep.
And inspiring people to play the game.
Yeah.
Because the Warriors have, you know, there's always been a hearty, faithful core there. Same with the Black Caps. But when they're winning, that's when the groundswell, that's when people start deciding, I want to play rugby league.
Yeah, look at 2015 Cricket World Cup here at home. We won every pool game, absolutely fizzing in the bunghole. And everyone loved their attitude. Like, I get it. They try and play positively. They showed some ticker. They fought back in that test because after that first innings, it was a humiliator, and they fought back and almost won it.
Well, they scored 372 against Australia in a test match.
I get that, but it's just, I don't know. I didn't need that quote at the end of the match.
But in his defence, I will say, it is tough. He's just been standing in a field for 5 straight days, and then someone's like, what happened? And he's like, fuck, I don't know.
I know.
It's not the outcomes. Which is also what you've got to say when the outcome didn't go your way.
Yeah, and we also slipped down to 4th on the World Test Championship. I don't care about that. We won that. We've won that. We've got it here in the studio. We got it.
It's right behind you, actually.
We've got it. Why do we care?
What I would also say about the WTC is it's on winning percentage, and we've played so many fewer tests than everyone else.
So if we lose one,
then we drop.
Rock it down.
Yeah, whereas for Australia, that probably won't change because they've played like double-digit tests already.
Oh, yeah, look.
In this cycle.
I mean, no one will be more happy than the ICC because Australia are at the top and India are number 2. So no one will be more happy than ICC.
But also, we don't care. We won it.
Yeah, totally.
So it's over. It's behind us.
Anyway, summer cricket's all over.
Yes.
That's done. So we are 100% oval ball code.
Yep.
We are league. We're rugby.
Yep.
And we're into it. So that is, I can now focus my passion, my energies onto one thing, or maybe 2.
Just before we put the summer of cricket to bed, what were your pits and peaks of the summer of cricket? What were the highlights? What were the lowlights? I'll go first.
Yep.
My highlight of the summer of cricket was the T20 innings from Finn Allen down there in Otago. That one where he was just belting sixes over the field. He hit Folau Fakatava on the Highlanders training pitch with one of his sixes.
Yeah.
That was inspiring. That was exciting.
I think you're right. I'm going to come in. I think the T20 series against Pakistan was a great series because Pakistan were a good team. And, the Hamilton incident with the ball being stolen, hit out of the ground and stolen by a couple of dudes having a hoon on a spliff outside.
Yeah.
That was a highlight for me.
Definitely.
I think that series was underrated. I really enjoyed watching
So
and
did I.
commentating that series because that was quite even. And obviously, Finn Allen was on a massive heater as well. He was absolutely smoking it. I'd have to say the low points. What was yours?
Low point for me actually was the third T20 against Australia, the rain-affected one. That one really pissed me off. I don't know why. It was rain delayed to about 12 overs.
Yeah.
And in those 12 overs, we dropped 3 catches. And it was like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. Once again, we are the Washington Generals
Yeah.
to the Australian
God, I'm blanking on them too. What are
the
they
Globetrotters.
Globetrotters.
We are. But another low for me, a pit for me, it was the South African team. I really struggled to get in behind that series, given who they sent over.
Yeah.
And they sent over some real cack players.
They did.
And we beat them. We did what we had to do. But I felt like it was just like, fuck you, South Africa.
Well, we copped it from overseas media as well because Kane was racking up all these tons.
Yeah.
And then everyone was going, oh, yeah, but they're playing against, nuffies. But it's like, we can only play who you send over.
Yeah.
So if you're going to send those guys over, then we're going to spank them. I actually really enjoyed that one test. I think it was in Hamilton against South Africa that sort of became a bit of a contest. It was the one where Glenn Phillips really came into his own as a bowler. And I actually really enjoyed watching that test. I don't know why.
And never forget the Karachi wheelbarrow,
Oh, the Karachi wheelbarrow.
the keeper for Pakistan.
Oh, he was delightful. It was great to watch him over here. He was definitely a highlight of the series. God, there's so many good moments. This has been obviously we're wallowing in our own self-pity right now.
Yeah.
The Black Caps supporters support group is fully back in session.
Absolutely.
But this has been a great summer of cricket.
Yeah.
It hasn't been too rain delayed.
No, there's only a couple. I think it was in Mount Maunganui over New Year's. That was a bit of a shitter.
That was a shitter.
Against Bangladesh, but again, it was Bangladesh.
One of the Pakistani games got washed out, I feel like.
Yeah, but potentially.
And then there was the third T20 and then slight rain delay yesterday, but that didn't affect the match.
I tell you who's got away with murder.
Who's that?
Danny Vittori.
Yeah, he is.
He's come over here coaching Australia. They've cleaned us up in the T20s, cleaned us up in the tests. He was in part of this coaching setup. They won the Ashes.
Yep.
They won a World Cup.
You mentioned yesterday off mic about how he just seems to get away with everything.
Everything.
Like he's a cat that always lands on his feet.
That's what I say. You could punt him off a 6-story building and he'll land on his feet.
Because when, who's our man, the rugby coach was, Steve Hansen went and helped Eddie Jones
Yeah.
with the Wallabies campaign at the World Cup. And everyone was ripping into him. God, I remember when Robbie Deans went over to coach the Wallabies after being clearly told by New Zealand Rugby, you'll never coach the All Blacks. So he's like, oh, well, fuck yes, I'll go to the Wallabies then.
Yeah.
And everyone just ripped them to shreds. They were like, we should rename Deans Ave in Christchurch, the whole thing. But for some reason, Vittori gets just clear air. No one cares.
Well, with cricket, though, go look at Baz. He's over coaching
Yeah.
England. You got Stephen Fleming coaching over in India, and he has been for about 15 years.
Yes.
Plying his wares over there. You got Mike Hesson. He's basically Mr. Asia over there in India, Pakistan.
Danny Morrison.
Look, yeah, but I think we talked about it. Who would you rather coach, the world champions or New Zealand?
The world champions.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. All right, let's put this to bed then. I've been scouring the news this morning, Lane, and there's been something that's come out about Super Rugby that sounds vaguely familiar to me. So we're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to take a nice deep soak into the hot take time machine.
Must be some kind of hot
Take.
time machine.
Still love. It's one of the great pieces of audio production.
Spare no expense here at the ACC. Super Rugby chair, Kevin Malloy, I didn't know they had one, reckons there should be freer player movement. And this is a quote from him, because if you're a fan, how interesting would that be if, to name a player, an Adi Savia was playing at the Waratahs? The interest that would potentially generate is a really interesting concept. It's one of the things that the Commission needs to put on the table and discuss with the unions. I think fans would find this exciting. We've now got a forum to have a really robust discussion about it. This sounds vaguely familiar. I feel like I've heard it before. You don't know who's in those South African teams because your team plays them at 3 in the fucking morning.
Yeah.
You never see them. But if Richie Mo'unga, instead of going over to Japan, was playing for the Waratahs, I'd know every player in that team.
It's uncanny, isn't it?
Isn't it
It's
bizarre?
uncanny. But Kevin Malloy, what I don't like about this is I think it's up for a really robust discussion. No, it's not. You are the chair of the board.
Yeah.
Make a decision.
Do it.
Do it. Don't put it up for discussion because you know what's going to happen. As soon as you put it up for discussion, oh, no, you can't do that.
No. But what
I don't
if-
understand that. What if that happens? Just make the decision. Like, if you think it's a good thing for the game and you think it's for the fans or whatever, do it.
This is what Peter V'landys has done such a good job of. Love him or hate him. He just makes shit happen.
He's the Pol Pot of sporting administration.
He is a sporting dictator.
Yeah.
Absolutely is. And the advantage of dictators is that they can get shit done. They don't have to wait for people to say, yeah, this is a good idea. Oh, I don't know, what if this or that. In the middle of seasons, he will just implement a new rule. He implemented the 6 again rule halfway through the season a few years ago.
Yeah.
And everyone was just like, Jesus, what the fuck? What's that going to change? And it changed everything, but for the better.
Do you think he took it to a forum for some robust discussion?
Absolutely not. There is no robust discussion with Peter V'landys. He's like, we're going to Las Vegas. Because if that is the ultimate, if he had to put that to a panel and said, should I fly 4 NRL teams to Las Vegas for a weekend? Everyone would have said, no.
Shall we lease out potentially one of the most expensive stadiums on the planet?
Yes. They would have been like, no. Not only the fact that we are going to have all sorts of scandals off the field, it may not wash its own face financially, and they would have just said no. This is why we need a sports dictator in Super Rugby.
Right, okay. So we need a Pol Pot, we need a
Pol Pot,
Yeah.
we need a Stalin, we need a Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, may peace be upon him.
Yeah.
You know, we need someone like that to just come in and just make decisions, make shit happen, and fucking listen to us when we come up with the ideas. They say that they want everything to be fan-centric. The ACC is just a bunch of fans talking shit about the sports that we love.
Yep.
So when we come up with an idea, it's no surprise to me that this trickles out into the mainstream media a couple of months later.
To throw him a bit of credit, there is a lot of mud we sling at the wall. There's a lot of mud.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they're going to sift through all of our ideas, they're going to have to get a big sieve just to go through it. But hey, that's not our job, is it?
No, that is not. That's up to them and their robust discussions. So I don't know. That one just really triggered me when that popped up. I was like, oh, fuck off. We've been talking about this
But they won't do it.
for a long, long time. Oh, nothing will happen. No, they'll talk about it. They keep saying they want it to be fan-centric. And you're like, what does that mean? Like, well, we're still discussing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna put that to a forum.
Very cool. Well, you guys just let us know when you figure that out. By the way, we're talking about the NRL. There's been a bit of news in the NRL. Not a lot of off-season scandals, a few here or there. An in-season scandal now. Spencer Leniu, he's received his ban. It is an 8-week ban for the racial slur that he used against Ezra Mam, which he doubled, tripled, quadrupled down on, and then 2 days before his trial, he came out and released what was quite clearly a scripted apology.
Yep.
He's like, I'd apologise to Ezra Mam, his family, the Indigenous community. The word I use should never be used. There's no place for it in our game. He's trying to mitigate the suspension that he was about to get.
Yes.
Which is 8 weeks.
Oof.
He got it last night. They faced the judiciary, and when a player faces the judiciary, it's always such a weird one because it's not like actually a court, but they are represented by lawyers. His lawyer looked like Lucius Malfoy from Harry Potter, Draco Malfoy's dad, with the like long, flowing grey hair. I gotta be honest, if I showed up to court and my lawyer looked like that, I'd be like, fucking just
8 weeks.
pick myself. I'm going to jail. This guy's sending me to jail. And you would have been right to think that too, because his lawyer referred to him multiple times as Spencer Luai, as opposed to Spencer Leniu. I think he's confusing him with Jerome Luai. Step one, I would think. Now, I don't. You studied law for a brief period. Step one would be know who you're defending.
Yeah.
Surely.
Did he? I mean, he must have got the number off, like, you know how they used to have them in phone boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like a kind of a call Saul.
Yes. This was big Better Call Saul vibe. So he's calling him Spencer Luai throughout the trial, and he said that he'd played for Tonga. Spencer Leniu is Samoan.
Oh God.
He has never played for Tonga.
No wonder he got 8 weeks.
No wonder he got 8 weeks. When Spencer Leniu himself was asked to justify his actions, his defense was basically, I say shit like this all the time. Why was this one picked up? It's like, no, Spencer, no. It's,
God, I love rugby league.
It's the most rugby league shit of all time. To just be like, he basically came out in the trial and was just like, we call each other shit like this all the time.
Yeah, because didn't he say, I didn't think it was anything because it was a brown guy via brown guy?
Yes, that was another one of his defenses. It's like, that's also not really how it works, Spencer Luai. And then another one of his things was like,
Did you just call him Spencer Luai?
yeah.
Okay.
Another one of his things was, we call each other shit all the time. In fact, in this game, I got called a few different things, but I don't want to say what they were. I don't want to bring it up because I don't want to snitch. And it's like, well, then why even say that happened?
I'm surprised he didn't look down the camera and go, and snitches get stitches, bitch.
But that's basically it. There was like a confrontation in the hotel after the game. It was just like the most rugby league shit of all time. This could have been nothing. He could have immediately apologised and then it would have all gone under the carpet. And it would have been a public apology. What I don't think he could get through his head was, it doesn't matter if you mean it.
Yeah.
The NRL just want to say, hey, he didn't mean it. It was a brain explosion. We're going to give him 2 weeks. Then we'll carry on.
What happened to whitewash investigations?
Well, they fumbled the ball here.
Yeah, I mean, were they too busy cleaning up the rest of the Las Vegas mess and they were like, this was priority 20?
They took their eye off the prize when Sam Kerr called the policeman, whatever she called him, after refusing to pay her taxi fare.
Yeah.
And I think whitewash investigations had just been spread a little too thin.
Yeah.
Because what you also need to remember about whitewash investigations is they're working on a lot of other things that we don't hear about.
Yeah, true.
Those are the ones that go well.
Okay, so we never know how busy they are.
We never know how busy they are.
Yeah.
They could have been very, very busy. And to be fair, the fact that this was the only story to come out of the NRL in Las Vegas means that they got into some pretty serious work over there.
That's true.
So if this is the one that slipped through the cracks, it's probably a couple of bodies out in the deserts of Las Vegas at the moment that didn't get picked up. So it's going to be very interesting. If he's in your fantasy team, drop him. Spencer Luai. But good luck finding him if you search that in the old Supercoach thing. It will not show up. Time for one more quick break, and we will be back with yours, please.
Yours, please. Brought to you by Leader, home of the lasagna topper.
A million of them came through over the last 4 days, as you can imagine, across the commentaries. Some sad, some happy, some elated. We couldn't get to all of them in the last 4 days, but we can today. So caller number one, yours, please.
It's now or never. Come hold me tight. Kiss me, my darling. Be mine tonight.
Tomorrow will be too late.
It's now or never, my love.
It's emotional.
That was great. It was right. This is what Lee Baker was singing all day yesterday.
Yeah.
It's now or never. We needed to win this. And the lyrics were so apt. Tomorrow will be too late.
Yeah.
And it was too late. I just needed to play that out because the dedication to sing that whole thing. No, I think, would you say 90% of the caller feedback that we get is from cars?
Yes, yeah, he's definitely driving.
Yeah, you can hear a lot of
driving.
There's like indicators in the background and shit quite often. That's too good a singing to leave that one on the cutting room floor. But I think we've got one more. Caller, yours, please.
Cricket's a stupid game. It's a stupid sport. I don't know why we watch it. It's fucking dumb. I'm back into rugby. Who's playing? What are we playing? Fucking. I've been hurt by the Black Caps again. It's not good.
Come on, Phil.
Where's my Black Cap support group?
Now, feel for that guy. I want to hug him. I want to lean through the phone and give him a hug. I had went through the same emotions yesterday.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. And I'm still going through them. And I'm giving him a hug via the yours, please.
Yeah.
Stay strong, brother. Just get in touch with your local Black Cap supporters support group. There'll be a local town hall or a primary school hall booked out near you. Just stay close on the socials. Stay strong.
I love this feature because it provides us a portal into like the real raw emotions of the ACC fans and what they're going through. And to be able to share that, I just think it's important because other people are hearing that, they felt like that yesterday as well.
Yeah.
That was another one in a car. It's only a matter of time before we get like an Eminem Stan type situation. Like, dear ACC, this is the last time you ever hear from me. I got this bitch locked up in the trunk. I'm about to drive up the fucking bridge. I think
You said you'd play yours, please.
waited 8 hours in the blistering cold and you just said no. I think it's only a matter of time before we hear a Stan. I think that's when we shut that thing down. But that was brilliant. All right, just to mop up a couple of news stories from the day, we'll quickly whip through the Oscars. The Oscars were yesterday. Why was John Cena naked?
That was a gag. I saw that he was giving out best wardrobe or costume.
Yeah.
And he's trying to promote his latest movie.
Right.
So he came out.
Yeah, okay.
And he wasn't in the nude. He had those like skin-coloured undies on.
Yeah,
like
and he was holding a box over there.
Yeah, if you're going to do it properly, come out with your full cock and balls.
Risk something.
Yeah.
Risk something.
No, you know why he didn't?
What?
Because he's so roided up, he had a mass cashew.
That is a good point. That is a good point. And to be fair to him, we are talking about it. The highlight for me was the dog in the crowd. I don't know what movie it was from, but while Jimmy Kimmel was giving his monologue, and you know they cut to the crowd and people are applauding. They cut to the crowd. There's just this dog sitting there applauding. That is brilliant. That is just dumb and funny.
I couldn't tell you who won anything, so I don't care.
No, I know. That's what I was going to ask. Do you give a fuck about the Oscars?
No.
And because I feel like the movie that wins every year, you've never watched it. You got no interest in watching it. I don't really understand what they're for.
Lost interest since Lord of the Rings won like 13.
Yeah. The winner was Oppenheimer, by the way. Everyone was up in arms about Barbie, the Barbie movie not winning anything. Hey, the Lego movie didn't either. All right.
Yeah.
So I don't know why everyone's up in arms about Barbie. You know, if they make a fucking Action Man movie next year, it's not going to win any Oscars either.
Step Brothers didn't win an Oscar, did it?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You can't just come up with a gimmick movie and be like, oh, how come it's not winning all the awards? Also awards, who gives a fuck? This story yesterday captured my attention because my missus did just the 2-hour-long deep dive into this one. A LATAM flight lost altitude from Sydney to Auckland Airport last night. Passengers and crew were thrown into the ceiling. 50 people were injured. A technical problem allegedly caused a strong movement on board Chilean airline LATAM flight LA 800 from Sydney to Auckland, which prompted a major emergency service response to the airport. They interviewed one of the guys. He said, I just dozed off, and luckily I had my seatbelt on, but all of a sudden the plane just dropped. It wasn't one of those things where you hit turbulence and you drop a few times. We just dropped. A passenger 2 seats away from him was not wearing his seatbelt and flew up and hit the ceiling. This guy said, I thought I was dreaming. I opened my eyes and he was on the roof of the plane on his back looking down on me like the fucking exorcist.
I know I shouldn't laugh. No one died here. No one died. That's a great quote.
I opened my eyes. He was on the roof of the plane on his back looking down on me like the exorcist. The man then fell back onto the floor, breaking his ribs on the armrest. 3 or 4 other people had hit the ceiling too, breaking some of the plane's interior with their heads and shoulders. People started screaming, felt the plane take a nosedive, felt like it was at the top of a roller coaster, and then it flattened out again. He said the incident took split seconds. There were other reports that they couldn't tell if there was red wine or blood spilt throughout the cabin. This is terrifying, and I think it's what everyone thinks of when you hit turbulence.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, fuck. I have seen a video of an air hostess hitting the ceiling of a plane that hit turbulence, and I gotta be honest with you, it was quite funny. It's like, whoop! Ah! Could you think of anything more terrifying though?
Oh yeah, like, I mean, I've been struck by lightning.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was me in Wales.
What does it feel like when you're inside the
A
plane?
very loud bang and flickering of lights. We were taking off out of Auckland. We were headed to Dunedin to go watch a test match. Actually, it was me and Wales, and we had I think Paul Stewart Ford, Dylan Cleaver, and we were headed down to watch the West Indies Black Caps in Dunedin. Took off. It was like one of the early morning one, like 7:30. And there was this massive, like, bang, and the plane shook. And then, like, what the fuck was that? And then the captain goes, all we imagined was him at the front and the whole dash going, meep, meep. And he's like, you've just noticed we've just been hit by lightning. We're going to turn around and we're just going to burn a bit of fuel and we're going to go back and land and check everything's okay. And we're like,
Fear.
check everything's okay. Like, and we were half expecting just, anyway, for the next 10 minutes, we had to go out and we flew out over the ocean. I don't know if they dumped fuel or not, but they did something. And then we landed again. But that 10 minutes, we spent the whole time going, well, if we go down, like, you know how they, in the newspaper, you know how when all the, like, mass kind of tragedy, they have all the pen photos, the head and shoulders photos of all the people that died, and they invariably rip from their Facebook
Yes.
or from social media.
Yeah.
And so we go, oh man, I got a comedy photo on my Facebook thing. So it came, and also, Wells, you're going to take all of the headlines
Yes,
as well.
yeah.
So no one's going to know that we died. And then this big argument started and all the seats going, yeah, fuck you, Wells. Fuck you. if we go down, no one will know. And then we landed and our nerves were so frayed, we just went straight into Coro. We full Gary McCormick, straight into Coro, straight into the wines at 8 a.m. Anyway, after we landed the plane, actually, the pilot goes, hey, look, we're just going to get an engineer to have a quick look around the engines, make sure everything's okay. And we could be being back, so just stay seated for a wee bit. And then 10 minutes later, we're going to be disembarking this plane because obviously it routed the engines. And 2 hours later, they bought a plane that had just been retired out of service the day before. Like the seats were aqua blue, like the in New Zealand.
Ansett.
Yeah, so they got one out of the hangar, and we were like, I don't know how much better this is. And we got on this.
Oh, what if this gets hit by lightning?
I know. Got on this old dunger. We eventually got down there.
Yeah.
So, but that was probably the closest I've been to thinking about going down.
That's brilliant. All right, I think that's where we'll leave it for today. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow with a half-baked sports idea for a Wednesday edition of the Agenda Podcast.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda Podcast. For more episodes, subscribe on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.